who is the co-founder of our partner, Samadhan. We have quite a close relationship with Samadhan. As we said prior, we're currently implementing a corrugated Samadhan ERP solution here within Malta with one of the biggest corrugation companies. And Mr. Manoj will be discussing basically how their corrugated Samadhan ERP can help the Business Central framework. So, hi Manoj, how are you?
Hi Wayne, nice to see you. I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm very happy to be here to discuss the value that we have created as corrugated Samadhan solution, which is built on Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. And before I get on to the specific solutions that we have created, I would like you to tell the audience here what is Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central and what basic capacities and features that it has, which makes it a favorite choice of the world and especially the manufacturing industry. Wayne.
That's a very good question, Manoj, one that we get asked a lot. Why is Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central one of the favorites, one of the world leaders in the digital transformation sort of solutions? One of the key benefits, I would say, which I've mentioned before, is the unifying process, having different business processes onto one centralized solution from the finance, and this we'll discuss further along in the webinar, from finance to dispatch, to design, to invoicing, billing. So basically have everything into one centralized solution. Another important point, I would say, which was touched upon by Francois, is that's either available on-premise or on cloud. On-premise, provided that you have the right infrastructure, and on cloud, of course, you have the ability to scale up or scale down. Basically, meaning that it's viable for just about any size of company. It's flexible and it is scalable.
Thanks to know that. I'm very happy to know that, Wayne. Can you tell us about the out-of-box functionalities of Business Central?
Most definitely. So within the corrugation industry, one of the key elements that one needs to look at is the inventory item management, of course. So the inventory management system. Through it, basically, a company would be able to monitor its raw materials and sub-assemblies. What does this mean? Basically, it allows you to increase your efficiency and productivity by eliminating waiting time. If you eliminate waiting time, you increase your profitability. Thanks to Business Central, companies can finally benefit from full visibility of their inventory in one unified view. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Wayne, we are talking about manufacturing industries here. And for a manufacturing industry, how does this solution help in demand and capacity management?
That's a very good question, Manoj. As we like to say, the best decisions are informed decisions. So basically what we're saying here is Business Central lets users take a more of a strategic planning approach. How? By utilizing the data created by each production order within the system. So what does this mean? This data is then used to establish, for instance, demand forecasts. Or on the flip side, we can evaluate what current load there is on the company's capacity. Having this information at hand allows key decision makers within the company to make key informed, and that's the key word here, key informed decisions. And if we have these key informed decisions, we can optimize our production levels and optimize our waiting times.
So Wayne, once the planning has been done, right, does the solution also manage the billing part to the customer?
Yes, most definitely. So as I said, the main benefit of Business Central is that you have a unified approach, so you can combine different things, different processes within the system, and billing is most definitely one of them. And how does it do so? Business Central basically allows you to define your raw materials, your sub-assemblies, or any kind of materials which also affect the billability of your products. So in essence, sales orders can be sent automatically to your customers from Business Central, whilst also ensuring that all transactional data is kept within the same platform. So you have a holistic approach, a holistic view, I should say, of the happenings of the company, keeping yourself on the ball, so to speak, for any decision making. Yep.
That was great, Wayne. And finance is often the worry for a manufacturing company. Uh, can you tell us something about what are the financial features of the solution?
Most definitely, that's a very good question, Manoj. So let's remember again that Business Central's main benefit is its unified approach. And it also, of course, when we're talking about a unified approach, you need to have your financials in check, of course. So what are we saying? Basically, the platform allows you to better manage your cash flow, so you have a good understanding of what's coming in and out of the company. Apart from that, it allows for other features. So let's say, for instance, bank reconciliations. We can do it in different currencies. We can have also the fixed assets module. So within the corrugation industry, you can keep track of the different machinery, the return on investment of machinery, the depreciated depreciation value, for instance, from when you bought it. Above and beyond this, it can also allow for accurate budgeting based on the data that we feed Business Central. Something else that, of course, we need to consider is it allows for verticalization. So we can integrate different systems, one of them being, of course, Samadhan, and we can feed data within Business Central, allowing for this financial data. This is achieved also. Something very important to mention is, whilst we're inputting this financial data, BC can generate AI-powered reports for key financial insights. So again, it ensures that key decision makers have everything they need to make the guided decisions for the best profitability of the company.
That's great. And on behalf of the audience present in this webinar, I'd like to thank you for telling us about the very elegant features and useful features of Business Central. And Wayne, what we have done in Samadhan is that we have used all the features of Business Central that you spoke about. And on top of that, as you mentioned, we have created specific features which makes the solution corrugated box specific. And what we do is that then a customer who is getting Business Central and my Samadhan solution gets to benefit from best of both worlds. So one is a very robust platform like Business Central and a very specific business specific corrugation box manufacturing specific solution. So we are very happy to bring this value to the audience here.
Yes, indeed. And something that you're mentioning is value. So how can we provide value to our audience? Basically, what we're looking at here in this slide is the manufacturing journey, the typical manufacturing journey within the corrugation industry. And the next, I would say, 5 minutes will be to discuss the different processes that we're seeing here and how the integration can help the different processes. One of the key words that I mentioned is unification. The idea that we can have everything within one centralized system. So we're looking at sales, we're looking at product design, we're looking at production, all integrated into one. You'll have the machinery, which is connected to BC through the Samadhan corrugated ERP. We can book our resources. We can assure that the quality is there. We can send it to dispatch, and then we'll have the invoicing, which is connected to reporting and finance. And we'll go through each of these points. So Manoj, from the manufacturing journey from the previous slide, one of the first elements was the product design. How can the corrugated Samadhan ERP system help this element?
Yeah, Wayne. So this product design interface is one of the very important features that we have created inside Microsoft Dynamics Business Central. What it does is that it helps the corrugated box manufacturer design the entire specification of a box that the customer needs, all intricate details about what properties the customer wants in the box, what dimensions does he want in the box, how those properties will be built into the box, what are the other specifications like printing specification, packaging specification. So there is every little detail is captured and used in the product design interface. And this is the first step, and this is used to estimate the cost of the box. And this is also used to make sure that entire specification which has been discussed and finalized with the customer is actually delivered as wanted, as desired by the customer, and in time. So this is a great feature which is not part of the standard solution. We have built it into the solution.
Very good, Manoj. So you have all the product design ready and accounted for within your solution. But how can you ensure that the products that you're producing are of a satisfactory quality? How can you ensure quality within your product?
Yep. Yes, Wayne, very important that what we do is that we have again built a specific quality module into corrugated Samadhan solution that we have created. And what it does is that it helps the manufacturer test and record the quality specifications of raw material, of work in process, as well as the finished goods. And all whatever is being manufactured, whatever is being bought, whatever is being shipped, it makes sure that it is as per the quality specified by the manufacturer. So this is a built-in feature. It's a great help to the manufacturers.
Perfect. So you've taken into consideration the design, you've taken into consideration as well the quality. Perfect, Manoj. So we've discussed the design element of it. You've obviously have taken quality into it as well because you've developed the solution to take that into consideration. Now, having worked with each other, Manoj, one of the key issues that we've been asked, so to speak, is the production scheduling for the corrugation industry. What can you tell us about this within your solution?
Wayne, this is again a very differentiating and key features of our solution. You see, when we manufacture a box, there are two things which are very important, and one is that we need to make the boards, and then we need to convert the boards into boxes. When we want to make the board, which is the corrugated board, normally there are automated board making lines. And in those board making lines, there are two aspects which are very critical. One is that the paper reels. In the paper industry, when what happens is that you order paper in kg and tons, but you get them in reels of various properties, various widths. So that is the paper reel, and we manage that in the solution. And the second aspect is that when you want to make a corrugated board, you need to work with what is called corrugated flute making rolls. So there are various kinds of flutes, A, B, C, D, E, F. These are the various flutes which are there, which are the various shapes and sizes of the flutes. which come between the two layers of paper and create the board. So what we have done is that we have made an engine, which is a production scheduling optimization engine, where for a production planning of the board making line, the system helps create the most optimal production schedule. And what that schedule does is two things. One, very often if you take one reel in and one reel and take it out and bring another one in, you lose the time for production. And similarly, if you change the corrugated reel too often, again you lose production time. So what we do is that in our production scheduling and optimization engine, we minimize the paper reel change and the corrugation roll change. The result is that everything remaining the same, by using our optimization engine, a corrugated box manufacturer is able to get more out of his plant. So it's like the capacity utilization goes up and his compliance to the customer's delivery schedule is also kept in time in mind. So you don't compromise there, but you improve your capacity. And Wayne, I'll be very happy to tell you that is the optimization engine is not only for the corrugated board manufacturing line, but even the converting line. Converting line would mean the printing, the folder and gluer, the stitching line, the packaging line. So all that is optimized. Idea is that the capacity utilization of the plant goes up and you save time, the immense amount of time that you need to plan it manually. The system helps the manufacturer optimize all this, and it is very easy and very efficient.
Perfect, Manoj. So it seems that your system caters for the optimization, not only for the corrugated box, but as you're saying as well for the printing, stitching, different elements within the business. Are there any other features that the corrugated ERP can help with?
Yes, so every little box that we make, so it has got a job card. So as I told you earlier, there is a project design interface where we capture all the features of the product and how it's going to be made. Now, we from the system, we create this job card, which summarizes all that it takes to meet the customer's requirement. It is very handy, and for every box that we manufacture, every campaign, every production order, we create a job card, and this helps in sharing the information about the manufacturing process with one and every person available in the production plant. Idea is that we must meet the customer requirement to the full. There is another thing, Wayne, that I'd like to tell you is that taking stock on the shop floor is often a big task. Also, when you want to move one work in process to one station to another station, that also keeping a track is very difficult. So what we have created is that for a WIP, which is work in process, for the pallets, we have created a pallet tag, and as you can see, this is what is available to be used in this entire plant, where we, as you can see, there are operations number 10, 20, 30, which is there, and each operation has got a barcode. So what happens is that capturing data on the shop floor and keeping track of WIP becomes so very easy for the customer. I am very happy to share with you, Wayne, another aspect, which is to do with production planning and scheduling, is that for many customers of ours, what we have done, that we optimize the schedule, and there is a feature by which this optimized schedule is fed directly into the corrugation line without any human interface. Also, the output recording from the corrugation line is pulled into the ERP, again without any human interaction. So what happens is that The optimization engine of ERP is talking to the corrugation line without any human intervention. There are no errors, and the efficiencies gained are tremendous.
Perfect. So, Manoj, it seems like the system caters for a lot of different elements that are needed within the corrugation industry. We've touched upon it briefly. Can you give us some more detail on how the system can handle real stock management?
Yeah, I'll be very happy to do that. As I was telling you earlier, that you order paper in terms of kgs and tons, but you get them in reels, which means the moment the paper arrives in a corrugated box manufacturer's plant, it is in reels, and we need to account for the reels. So you need to get them in, you need to track them when they get used till they get used. So they may not get used in one go. They might be reusing. So you use part of it, pull it out and again keep it and again use it. So managing reels is a very critical aspect of the corrugated box manufacturing plant, and we do it very thoroughly in our solution. The way it helps is that I give you two situations where we'll emphasize how real ID is very important. So you get a reel. As I was telling you, we have a quality module. So you check the reel and you find that it is all fine and ready to use. But the moment you start, you put it onto a corrugation line, you find the inside paper is in a reel, and once you start taking various layers out, after a few layers you find it's not all right. So you need to identify a reel when you accept it quality wise, and then later in the production phases you find it's not okay. So you again have to identify and say this particular reel is not okay, and it has to be dealt with like a not okay reel. When sometimes the other thing also happens, that you get a reel which is not quite okay, but then it is lying in your rejected location, but it is useful because the customer at that point of time is demanding that very paper. So you take a decision that a rejected role you like to use, but you don't want to lose the quality history of that particular reel. So you don't lose the quality history that you did find it not acceptable, but then you decide to use it and see how it goes. And entire thing is handled in the solution in a seamless manner, so that you never lose track of how which role was used, how in which manner. And if you can backtrack from, if a box has got a complaint, you can backtrack and see which reel was used and identify a problem with its root cause.
Perfect, Manoj. As we may know, one of the key benefits as well of Business Central is its great use of dashboarding. What do we mean? Basically, having the right information at the right time to the right people. And the Business Central facilitates this very well. From the Samadhan ERP corrugated solution, is there any way that it supplements the dashboarding within Business Central?
Yep. Wayne, you did mention when you were introducing Business Central that business intelligence is one of the things that the solution delivers, and we use that feature very well. And what we do is that we create various dashboards, and dashboards are created user wise. So if I am a purchase user, I am a quality user, I'm a manufacturing planner, I am a dispatch guy, if I am the chief executive officer of the company, depending upon the role that a person plays in an organization, their dashboards are created exactly to the needs of that particular role. And what it does is, as you rightly mentioned, when you're introducing that, it brings up all the information which are critical to that particular role right on your dashboard. The moment you log in, that's what you see, and the numbers are which you see here. If you double click on the blue boxes, it takes you one level down to the data, And if you click it further, it takes you right to the transaction. So dashboarding and using dashboard for various roles is an important feature, and we use it to the hilt.
Perfect. So
Wayne,
basically, sorry to cut you off, Manoj. So basically what you're saying is that what it does, it takes the already great dashboarding that Business Central currently has, and it adds its own corrugated box specific customizations to it.
yes, Wayne, you're absolutely right.
Perfect. Fantastic, Manoj. That was very insightful. I think we've gone over quite a number of benefits that Business Central and the Samadhan corrugated ERP solution can provide to the corrugated industry. Unfortunately, I believe that we're running a bit over on time in our webinar, and I do not want to keep our audience here. Having said that, in the beginning, we had shown the manufacturing journey. And we've pretty much covered all the different elements within the manufacturing journey, both from the corrugated Samadhan ERP solution and the out-of-the-box Business Central functionality. We've discussed the sales. From the Samadhan side, we have the product design, which is taken care of. We have the production, we have the machinery, which is integrated within and feeding data towards Business Central. We have the quality module from the Samadhan side, and then from the Business Central side, we can dispatch different products, which in turn then connects, which integrates with the financial element of the business, which allows us from Business Central itself to invoice our clients and have the necessary reporting that feeds back to finance. On that note, I think we've pretty much covered every facet of the manufacturing journey, now made ever simpler thanks to the newly automated and digitalized processes using the features of both, as we were saying, Business Central and the Samadhan corrugated ERP system. On that note, I would like to thank you, Manoj, for your time. It was a very insightful conversation, very insightful look into the corrugated ERP from Samadhan, and I will give the floor to Francois.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you, Manoj.
Thanks, Manoj and Wayne. It was a very interesting discussion, and I think it would have given some insights to our audience about the technology and how technology can be applied within the corrugated industry to actually increase effectiveness within their specific organizations. Now, I would like to lead on to some question and answers to see some questions which have been submitted by some of our audience, and we'll start going through one by one. Let's see what questions we have available.